Hello, this is D, and I'm back with another video. Well, Sony's showcase, to summarize it in one word, was underwhelming or lackluster. It just was not a good show. Now, you all know who J-Dub is, and if you don't know, J-Dub City 16, he is an infamous Sony troll, okay? He's a huge Sony PlayStation fan. And even he didn't like the show. And I'm sorry, but his post was really funny. I'm like sitting here staring at it, as you guys can see on the screen. And he goes on to say, how y'all like the PlayStation Showcase? and he has this abomination of Spider-Man on the screen. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm doing this in real time. I'm sorry, guys, but it's hilarious. Anyway, some of the users said they needed a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. They came up with a 6 out of 10 at best. And he goes on to say, no competition, so this is what you get. Another user says, bro, Xbox has won, Sony lost. This is sad seeing, this is a sad year for the PlayStation. And you have another user here with Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. He's got nothing in his web shooters. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. J-Dub gave it a 7 out of 10. And I gotta say, that's probably an accurate score. I also gave it a 7 out of 10. And the reason why I gave it a 7 out of 10 is because I did see some titles that I did like. So they did show a couple of VR titles. They showed a host of multiplats. Like Alan Wake 2, I thought Alan Wake 2 looked awesome. I'm a huge fan of the first game. It was an original Xbox game. It's a classic Xbox title, and I'm really happy to see part 2. We knew this was coming, but to see it in action, and it looked beautiful. It looked absolutely incredible. So that was a good showing, but this is a multiplat. This is also going to be on the Xbox Series X. In fact, that show had a host of multiplats. It was so bad that Microsoft came out and they did a tweet. Now, Xbox tweeted out, what a good looking group of games. They showed Marathon, which is a new Bungie game, Ghost Runner 2, Metal Gear Solid, Alan Wake 2, and some other games that were showcased at Sony's event. So Sony's not really getting one up on the competition here because these games are also coming to the Xbox console and you just demonstrated them on your platform. Now, this Immortal games that's coming out from EA, I just wasn't wowed by this game. The combat, it just doesn't interest me. It doesn't really look polished. Like some of the cutscenes, they look great, but the in-action game, it just doesn't really interest me. Kind of looks like Tokyo Ghostwire, and that game really didn't interest me either. So if you like that game, you're gonna like this game. It's just not my type of game. Now, I did see some things that did impress me. Like I said, Alan Wake looked pretty good. Metal Gear Solid, although I'm not a huge fan of the game, I know a lot of people do enjoy that game, and it is coming to the PlayStation console. And once again, it's a multiplat. It's also coming to the Xbox Series consoles. Now, for me, the star of the show was Spider-Man. Spider-Man looked absolutely incredible. And I see a lot of people, they were kind of complaining about Spider-Man. They were saying, oh, it's running at 30 FPS or it looks like crap. First of all, I don't know how people were saying that this game looked like crap. It was a fantastic looking game. Now, it was running at 30 FPS, but the reason why it was running at 30 FPS, if you look closely, we have the footage up on the screen, you can see that it has ray tracing in it. So Sony wanted to showcase this game in its best light, so it's running with all the bells and whistles, therefore it's running at 30 FPS. But I'm quite confident that this game is going to also have a 60 FPS mode, either through some resolution scaling, or they're just going to turn ray tracing off. But like I said, there's going to be a 60 FPS mode for this game. Now, overall, it was kind of a lackluster show. If you didn't like VR, then you definitely didn't like this show. I can see you rating it like a 6 because they showed some VR titles. I'll give you an example of a game that really piqued my interest. Arizona Sunshine 2. It looked pretty good. Now, the problem that we have with VR titles is that the graphics kind of get dumbed down in the VR space. Now, this is one game that actually looks like a native PlayStation 5 title, and we're going to have this in VR, so I am excited for that. They also showed Resident Evil 4 Remake in VR. This is another fantastic looking title. It looks just like the console version, so I can't wait to be immersed in this world in VR. But overall, I just wasn't too impressed with the show. Another game that did impress me was Phantom Blade Zero. I do believe that this is actually a PlayStation 5 exclusive. It might be showing up on PC, but I'm pretty sure it's not coming to the Series X. Now, this had some awesome combat in it. I really like the set pieces. I like the combat, how he's deflecting the blades. At one point, he's fighting two guys and he throws a back kick and it just looked incredible. So I'm looking forward to that game. But overall, everything else was just kind of mid. They showed Ghost Runner 2, kind of mid. They showed Immortals. Helldivers 2 is coming to the PlayStation 5. It's also on PC. So once again, another multi-plat game. So overall, there was nothing really too impressive. Metal Gear Solid, yeah, cool, nice nostalgia. We kind of knew this was coming. Once again, it's going to be on the Xbox Series X. They showed Final Fantasy. We've kind of seen this game already. We know what to expect. Assassin's Creed, it was nice to see Assassin's Creed made a return. A lot of people are looking forward to this game. Once again, it's a multi-plat. They showed Street Fighter. Now, Street Fighter, you can play the beta right now. I don't know why they were showing this at the show. And the most bizarre thing that they showed was the Gran Turismo trailer. Why are you showing this trailer at this event? We've seen this trailer. We don't want to see a movie trailer at our gaming event. Now, Microsoft, years back when they had their presentation and they showed a lot of TV stuff, they got a lot of backlash. So I hope some gamers at least give Sony some backlash for showing this trailer, because we've seen it already and I don't think it was the right event to show it at. Five Nights at Freddy, like, who asked for that? Arizona Sunshine 2, like I said, fantastic. Resident Evil 4, fantastic. Crossfire Sierra Squad, whatever. Beat Saber, but we've pretty much played Beat Saber. If you have a VR headset, you've played Beat Saber already. It's nice that they're gonna have the Queen soundtrack. I know it's iconic, but it's nothing really to write home about, right? Bungie has a new game, but it's also coming out on the Xbox consoles. They didn't really show too much of it. We saw some stuff for Destiny, and I think the huge surprise was the PlayStation hardware. They revealed new hardware, a new handheld. I think it's Project Q is the internal name for this. As basically a handheld device that will stream your PlayStation 5 games to you. So it's not even like a true cloud device where you can play the games in the cloud. It's a handheld device that you can stream your PS5 to. And I just was like, what? Like, do we really need this? Who's asking for this? We have a Rogue Ally that's coming out next month that'll be capable of doing that. We have phones that can do this now, tablets that can do this now. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know who this is targeted to, but I kind of think this is going to be dead on arrival. I only think the diehards are probably going to go out day one and buy this, and it'll sit in their house collecting dust. I don't see the use case scenario for this, and it's just kind of got me scratching my head why Sony released such a device. Release a true handheld that plays games natively, or at least through the cloud, that you don't have to be in the same house as your PlayStation 5. This, for me personally, is dead on arrival. Now, the headphones, I think, are pretty cool. You can use them with your PSVR headset. You can probably use them when you're playing games in the nighttime. It also works on PC. So there might be some interest in that. I do expect them to sound pretty good. I don't know the price of them, but overall, it still didn't save this show. Now, Spider-Man coming out at the end, yes, it let me put the grade up to about 7 because I did enjoy the gameplay. I thought it looked clean, it looked crisp. It's coming out this year, but even this game, we didn't get a hard release date. They just said coming fall 2023. So we don't even know when this game is coming out. Now, I do know it's coming out this year for sure because Insomniac, they're pretty good. They have a great turnaround time. I do like what I've seen with the game so far. They probably just want a little bit more time to polish it, and then they'll probably announce it maybe in September, the hard release date. I would say maybe November, close to December, this game will come out. Nonetheless, overall, I just wasn't impressed with this show. I see a lot of Sony fans were not impressed with this show. When you see J-Dub, you know, he's kind of saying, well, I don't know, then you know it wasn't a good show. And in fact, I think it was one of the worst shows that Sony has ever put out. Now, this gives Microsoft a huge opportunity with their upcoming show. They have about 2.5 weeks to prepare. And I gotta be honest with you guys, it's gonna be like near impossible for them to blow this opportunity. I don't think they can have a worse show than what Sony just gave us with their event. So I'm expecting great things from Microsoft's show. I think they can shuffle it up a little bit now that they know, Sony played part of their hand. They can play the next hand. And I think it's going to be a very exciting showcase for Xbox fans. And I think competition is a good thing. I think Sony just doesn't have a lot of games that they are confident in showing at this point in time. And I gotta say, it's pretty sad because we waited a long time for a Sony showcase. And like I said, I was very underwhelmed. Anyways, I want to know what you guys think about all of this. Are you disappointed that you didn't see Faction, that you didn't see all the rumored games from the leakers? Do you think this show was good? Do you think this show was bad? And do you think that Microsoft will blow them out the water? Let me know in the comment section down below. And like I usually say, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys on the next one.